Why is it that the greats, whoever you want to name in any profession, I'm not going to go on naming the greats because you know them all. Throughout history, throughout time, it seems as though the greats made effort, intense periods of effort, look effortless for them. Intense hours of focus, intense hours of doing a single thing, practicing a single thing. The athlete, the painter, the inventor, doing a single thing for hours at a time, and they don't get bored. They don't need to force themselves to do it. It's like their soul, their inner being just has to do it. This goes on to the point where I will say this. You don't need more discipline. You don't need motivation. Everyone always says you need more discipline. You need more discipline. Discipline is the main word. And discipline is important, don't get me wrong. But discipline will not help you if you are misaligned. Sure, you can force yourself to do something, whatever it may be. But if you're not first aligned in your mind, it's become so hard. And that is the secret of the greats, alignment. Alignment is why intense effort and intense focus at a task for the greats seems effortless. Your best ideas will not come from forcing it. Your best ideas come when you're in flow, when you're relaxed. And this is exactly why athletes, and I've made the mistake when I was a footballer, the more you think about making mistakes, the more you play nervous, the worse you play, and the more mistakes you make. Same as in anything. If you're not relaxed, if you're not calm, you are not going to do well. Alignment is the key in life. I listened to an American poet by the name of David White. I listened to his interview recently, and it's a famous clip, but I listened to the whole interview recently where he goes, the interviewer asks him, how do you know when you're on the right path? And David White's response was, because it disappears. You no longer see where you're going. Everything you've lent on for your identity is gone. When you're on the right path, you don't need to know where you're going. You just know you're heading towards something that you feel is in alignment within yourself. Now, the logical next question is, how do you find that alignment? Now, this explains so much, and this isn't me bragging or me being boastful, but this explains so much in my life as to where it seems as though I have an unlimited discipline or motivation from the outside looking in to train, to read, to do things that make me better. But it is not because I am more disciplined than you. I am no better than you. I am simply more aligned than you. I am more in touch with my intuition, and I am letting my intuition lead me. Alignment is the reason I can train so much. Alignment is the reason why I don't get bored doing the monotonous tasks. Alignment is the reason why I can post the volume of content and why I love recording this content so much. The key is alignment. That's the key in anything you do in life. Because more discipline, more friction, it can work, and it works for a lot of successful people, but it's always going to feel like you're pushing something uphill. And that is where most people are in life. If you feel like you're constantly battling and pushing something uphill, it's because you've decided to do the action, whatever it may be. Go to the gym, get fitter, work on your business, post content, but you have not aligned yourself inwardly. I don't know whose quote this is now that I'm going to say, and it's not mine by any means, but it is I might have forgot it now. I got it. Do what feels like play to you. What feels like work to everyone else, but play to you. That is alignment. Because for most people, going to the gym, training, getting exhausted in a training session, that feels like work to them, struggle. But for me, honestly, this sounds crazy, and I told my physio this, I find immense joy when I'm exhausted, when I'm tired. That's where I find the most joy. And that's alignment. Now, the logical next question is, how do you find that alignment? Now, that's not a simple answer where I can say, do this and do that, or a 5-step protocol that you're going to find your alignment. Your alignment is tailor specific to you. And the only way you're going to find it is by sitting down in a quiet place and analyzing yourself. Ask yourself the right questions. Ask yourself the questions, Lazir. What makes my identity? What makes me who I am? What feels like play to me but work to everyone else? What can I do with intense focus for hours at a time and then not feel boring to me? That is alignment, and that is what you need to find. Building discipline is great. Having motivation is great. And discipline will get you far in life. It's so important because a disciplined man is a man who is not a slave to his whims and his beastish desires of his lower self. Because the man who is not disciplined is the man who is a slave to every feeling, to every whim, to every lower desire of the lower part of himself. So don't be the man who isn't disciplined, but don't focus on just discipline. Become aligned. And I promise you, then everything feels effortless. Then everything flows. That's the secret of the greats. Alignment. I can't tell you where your alignment lies. I was blessed enough to find mine. You need to sit down in a quiet place, no phone, no distractions, no people telling you you're suited for this, you're suited for that, you should do this. You need to find it yourself and dig deep within you and analyze yourself and ask yourself the questions that most people never ask themselves. And that's where you will find alignment. And when you find it, everything will seem to click. This was Raw Talks, episode 8, I believe. I'll see you in the next one.